There are things in this film that may make me sound insane, but I own them as the truth. They are my truth. The Cascadilla Gorge is one of the most notable features of Ithaca, New York. It has 8 waterfalls, and its cliffs are dotted with beautiful and intriguing buildings. The gorge was formed by water erosion that has occurred over millions of years. It stretches across the landscape like a jagged smile. It is a place filled with life. And death. Earlier this year, the Cascadilla Gorge tried to kill me. This last winter, I caught the flu. I had been sick for a few days when I went out on the Gorge Trail. At the time, I thought taking the closed-off trail would get me back home faster. The snow didn't look that deep. By the time I found out how deep it was too late. These are the steps that almost killed me. When I approached them that day, they were covered in snow. At this point, I had progressed too far to go back. I was too tired to do anything else but go forward. I was slowly working my way up when my foot slipped and I almost fell. As soon as I faltered, I felt a force latch onto my back, trying to pull me into the gorge. Its presence was undeniable. In that instant, my mind went to iron. I refused to fall. I would not die this day. I dug my hand into the rail, and with strength I did not know I had, I pulled myself to the top. Not until I reached that final step did the invisible force finally relinquish its hold, slinking away in defeat. When I started working on this film, I went to the base of where I almost fell and shot this footage of the stony mouth that almost ate me. What happened to me that day? Did I imagine the entire experience? Did the gorge try to eat me? Is this why there are so many gorge deaths? I wanted to get some answers. This wasn't something I felt comfortable discussing with others, so I started to do my own research. Jacques Derrida was a French philosopher who is best known for developing an analytical technique known as deconstruction. This is a recording of a translation explaining deconstruction in Derrida's own words.
The very condition of a deconstruction may be at work in the work, within the system to be deconstructed. It may already be located there, already at work, not at the center, but in an eccentric center, in a corner whose eccentricity assures the solid concentration of the system, participating in the construction of what it, at the same time, threatens to deconstruct. One might then be inclined to reach this conclusion. Deconstruction is not an operation that supervenes afterwards, from the outside, one fine day. It is always already at work in the work. Since the disruptive force of deconstruction is always already contained within the very architecture of the work, all one would finally have to do to be able to deconstruct, given this always already, is to do memory work. Yet since I want neither to accept or to reject a conclusion formulated in precisely these terms, let us leave this question suspended for the moment.
When Derrida came to Cornell University in the 1980s, he wrote a paper called The Principle of Reason, the University in the Eyes of Its Pupils. In this paper, Derrida comments on the Ithaca Gorges and their psychic relationship to the university. Drawing on K.C. Parsons' account of the planning of the Cornell campus, James Siegel observes, and I quote, that for Ezra Cornell, the association of the view with the university had something to do with death. Indeed, Cornell's plan seems to have been shaped by the thematics of the Romantic Sublime, which practically guaranteed that a cultivated man in the presence of certain landscapes would find his thoughts drifting metonymically through a series of topics: solitude, ambition, melancholy, death, spirituality, classical inspiration, which could lead, by an easy extension, to questions of culture and pedagogy. A matter of life and death. The question arose once again in 1977 when the university administration proposed to erect protective railings on the Collegetown Bridge and the Fall Creek Suspension Bridge to check thoughts of suicide inspired by the view of the gorge. Barriers was the term used. We could say diaphragm, borrowing a word which in Greek literally means partitioning fence, beneath the bridges linking the university to its surroundings, connecting its inside to its outside, lies the abyss. Gorge is such an ugly word. It has many meanings. It can mean a narrow valley between hills or mountains, typically with steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. In older times, gorge meant the throat or the stomach's contents. It can also mean to eat a large amount greedily, fill oneself with food. Almost every day I walk past the gorge. There have been times at night when walking past the gorge that I have felt a presence. Sometimes it feels like there's a figure following behind me. Of course, when I turn around, there's no one there. I have been told that there is a scientific explanation for this phenomenon. It is not uncommon for people to have a sensation of being followed when walking alone at night. My question is, why do I only have this sensation when walking past the Cascadilla Gorge? Other times at night, I feel a different presence. A presence in the gorge. A hungry, howling, roving wind. Is this the wind that feeds? I don't know, and I doubt I ever will. I'm just happy to have survived the pull of the gorge. I would like to leave you with a satisfactory conclusion, a definitive answer. I'm afraid I have none. All I have are more questions. Is there more to the Cascadilla Gorge than rocky features and a steep dive? Is there a malevolent presence that lurks in the gorge, consuming the unwary? Or are these just musings of a frayed and tattered mind? I leave you now with the words of Carlos Castaneda, who describes an ominous night wind, not that different than the wind that I have felt in the Cascadilla Gorge. It may seem to be the wind to you, because wind is all you know. Here it comes. Look how it is searching for us. It's something that hides in the wind and looks like a whirl, a cloud, a mist, a face that twirls around. It moves in a specific direction. It either tumbles or it twirls. A hunter must know all that in order to move correctly. To believe that the world is only as you think it is stupid. The world is a mysterious place, especially in the twilight. This can follow us. It can make us tired. It might even kill us. At this time of the day, in the twilight, there is no wind. At this time, there is only power.